Everyone out there, thank you all for tuning in to Just One Question with Lion Fludd. I'm your host. Today we're going to do something just a little bit different. I wanted to come on, and first let me open this up to say also, if you have any questions, any comments, please type them in the comment section down there. And if you'd like to jump on screen with me as well, so we can have a conversation, I would love that. Just send me something in the chat and I can get you to come on. Today I want to talk about something that's been on my mind for a while and I just never really brought it up. And I'll tell you some reasons why. This has not been scripted. I usually script out a session, but today I'm just coming straight from the heart. I want to talk about some of the disparities within the art world, but especially within my field of magic. So if you're not interested directly in artistry, whether it's a musician, painter, anything like that, then this might not be for you, but still more than welcome to listen. What I'm going to say right now is direct and from my heart. It's something that I'm tired of and I'm dealing with, and it's not going to be a changes until someone speaks of it, even if it's for me. But white privilege in the magic world. Let's talk about it. Again, if you have any questions, please bring it up. One of the things I want to speak about directly is I had a little more inspiration today as I started watching a video from a magician over in Sweden named Caroline Raven. I've known her for a while. We've met indirectly at some magic conventions, but she spoke about something and it really hit me, and I wanted to come and talk and my reference with that. All right, so here we are, first off, in Black History Month. Now, I want to say that diversity within the art world, but especially within magic communities, is very slim to none. Some people may say, well, it's not our job to reach out and find Black magicians or minorities, and I will say absolutely, it is your job to do that, especially during a month that's dedicated to a specific culture or something of that nature. Yes, it is your job. You say, well, why is it my job? Because your guests, your people whom are coming to spend money to come and come to your establishment deserve it. So then we go into even a little bit smaller things, conventions, magic clubs, etc., etc. They do the same thing. Whenever I or some other people in African American communities contact these individuals, they say the same thing. Well, my people don't want to see that. And I beg to differ. One, they don't even go to ask their people what are they interested in seeing. They just say that wouldn't fit them. They aren't looking for that. You don't know. Have you taken a survey to see if they want to see something like that? What they are really doing is projecting their feelings onto everyone else. My people in my club don't want to see a Black magician. They don't want to see you being in front of them, which would make them uncomfortable. Allow me to tell you this. Most people who come to a magic show, they do not look to see whether, one, if it's a Black magician, two, whether it's a female magician. They just see magic show and they want to go. Most lay people have no idea what to expect. They're never going to see magic. They haven't seen it before. So I am putting this directly out to anyone who deals with conventions. If you want to come on and speak with me, I'm more than happy to talk to you civilly about it. This is not an attack. I want to know why, what your thoughts, and how we can work to change it. I grew up and I started seeing this, and I never saw any representation of my color, my culture in the magic world. But little do most people know that the first American magician was a Black magician. There were many Black magicians before Houdini. There were magicians who taught Houdini how to escape. But that's a story that's whitewashed and is not told. So I would guess what most of them are saying is, hey, we're only comfortable seeing white people in front of us. No matter the talent level, we're still okay seeing them, even if they're bad. There are several other people who are minorities and people of color, Black people, whatever reference we want to call them, who are up to the standard or above the standard of what most of these conventions or bookers are actually seeking and trying to bring in. So I want to know if there's any questions, please type them in the chat. If I'm wrong about something, I am happy to research it and actually come back and tell someone, hey, I was mistaken on that. Maybe some of my numbers were skewed or off. I really want this to become a norm. Even if it's not for myself, it's for some of the younger kids and younger people who are coming up so they can have an easier road to get into some of these positions. I know directly with myself, and I'm not going into any names or anything at this moment, because what I do is if I'm going to bring your name into something, I'm going to come to you and let you know I'm going to be talking about this. You have a chance to come on and rebut it or not, but your name is going to be brought up. I don't speak on anyone's name or anything like that unless you have a chance to kind of come and defend yourself. So, but in general, let's talk about it. It's old white men. They are afraid. They are petrified, I guess is another word to say it, even more than just afraid of what though? I'm curious. When I look into the magic community inside the lectures and everything else, I see people who are 60, 70, 80 years old coming. There's no youth. There's no blood. There's no one to say, hey, new blood to say, oh, hey, let's teach this and let's take this on. But yet still, they will bring in someone right in that same age range to come and lecture. Yes, I pay my respects to all of the people who came before, who set the standard, but there are some people who are newer who can do just as well and just as exciting of a job to bring to your people. So why is it that the white community feels as though it's theirs? This is just for us to be here in this section, and we're talking about we only want white people up on our stage performing in front of. Occasionally they will sprinkle in a one or two people to try to say, well, we're being diverse. Well, if you have 12 artists performing on one stage and they're all doing the same thing probably, and you put one Asian person there, really one black person, but more or less one Asian person, that's not diversity. That's just you saying, okay, hey, let's do this to try to appease some of the naysayers about what we're doing. Okay, so I wanted to come on here and just kind of talk and get this off my chest. I will be doing a more formative one a little bit later. I'll be bringing on some guests and we're going to talk about it more structured. But as of right now, I just wanted to put it out there. I know personally I've been attacked. I have shown several people some of the postings, some of the letters I've received. I've even been threatened with lawsuits from people claiming to be attorneys about I shouldn't be saying this and saying that. That's defamation. Well, one of the things to defamation is truth. If it's true, then it's really not defaming you or your establishment in any way. And if you feel that way, then maybe you ought to check your records, because when I go back to look at them, for years I have not seen one black magician, rarely one Asian magician, one Indian magician, one person of color other than white. So if the truth is being told, then what kind of argument do you have against it? All right, so I'm not going to stay on long, but I just wanted to kind of jump on and get some people's opinions. And again, if you have a comment or something out there, please jump in, say something, let me know what you feel. I'm kind of checking some of my things here as well to see what some people are kind of sending me. I'm getting some messages on this right here as now. And I'll say this. One of the things that some people have said here, excuse me, as I kind of type into this. One of the things, comments I just got, said, thank you, Rand, talk that talk. I appreciate that, man. But really, so one of the things that I was looking at when she was talking is about how female magicians are called female magicians versus just magicians. You don't say, hey, I'm going to a female doctor. You don't say I'm going to see a female scientist, et cetera, et cetera. They talk about how she was talking about how they wanted ladies to dress in a specific way in order to get a gig, and you had to dress provocatively and so forth in order to get that. So I really liked it, and it inspired me to do it. I'm not afraid to call it out. I have been told, as you've seen in the movies, you won't work in this city again. You won't. Literally, I have this documented. If anyone dares to say I'm lying, I'll show you the documentation. in reference to this. But people have been stating this for the longest. Why are we not? Even to the point where a group of black magicians started a convention, a little group to start saying, hey, well, if they want to invite us to their performances, we'll kind of start our own. And we started a convention. What happened? It got attacked by some white people. Like, why do they feel they need to have their own one? Isn't that something where they're stopping white people from coming to join? No, there's several white people that's in the group. There's several white people that's in the organization that's joining in that actually come and performs. And you ask, why do they have to go and start their own? Think about it. Because it's being whitewashed by the other parts of the community that are saying, we don't want you to come and perform on our stage. I even went into something, and I have to give it up to the Magic Castle. They change, and they look like they are changing as well. I was in talks with them a couple of years ago, and this got really kind of heated and so forth. Whereas the castle would have, and I don't know if they still do because pandemic and stuff, but they had Asian Week where they brought in a week of Asian performers. They had Women's Week, a week of nothing but women performers, et cetera, right? But they never had an African American week, a Black week. Even though Black magicians have a Black History has a whole month, they would still never bring in any Black magicians during that month. I mean, that's the best opportunity to say, hey, look, let's show that we can be diverse. Black History Month, how about we bring in at least one Black magician a week, for an example? That never happened. And now I see that this month they're doing highlights of Black magicians that have performed there in the past and etc. That's a step in the right direction. But there's several other organizations around the country that do not. And I will state some of those names on the next one that we're doing. A matter of fact, another inspiration really quick is an associate of mine posted something, and I won't put her name on it yet until I speak with her, on her page in reference to her. She's in a sideshow type of environment where she does like stunts, etc. in the circus world, and she would say she reaches out to an organization, but they eventually tell her no, they don't have budgets, they don't have this. And then we speak to another person, and that organization is flying in instructors that they're spending money on this person after they've spoken with her. So anyways, I don't want to keep going on this. I want to thank you all for at least chiming in just for a quick second. I'm seeing a couple more comments there coming up. I appreciate that. And we're going to keep this going. I want to keep this conversation going. And if it makes someone uncomfortable, that's on you. Then that means that you know the truth is actually hitting you somewhere. But let's talk about it. Let's see if we can open up a dialogue to talk about this civilly and get some discourse about this. I'm looking forward to it. If you would like to come on and talk and express your point of view, please don't hesitate to email me. Let me see if I can put my email up on here for you really quick. I didn't have that. Like I said, I just came off the cuff here. You can email me at lionfludd@gmail.com. There it goes right there. Let me actually bring this up just a little bit. Oh, there we go. Bring that up. Perfect. So there is my email. Let me change that color so people can actually see that a little bit better. Let's see if I just do white. Should that be better? All right, there we go. lionfludd@gmail.com. Email me. I love to bring you on. We can talk about some different things, but this needs to change. We can't keep continuing to say, here is 2022 and we're looking for diversity, but yet still we're afraid to bring some on. And I can even go into some major television shows that kind of do the same thing. But again, like I said, I will be bringing that back when we have our next guest. So thank you all for tuning in. I just wanted to make sure I stayed under my set time limit, which was 15 minutes, and I'm actually there right now. So let me know what your thoughts are about this. Put some more comments down there, and let's see if we can bring this together. All right. Thank you, guys. And remember this, just because you're being hustled does not mean that it is a bad thing.